So you're losing hair every day, and they say that shedding is normal, but what does that even mean? If you've ever been curious or even concerned about whether the amount of hair that you're shedding is normal, then you wouldn't be alone. In this video, I'm going to clarify all of the most important things that you need to understand about shedding, what it actually is, its place in a healthy hair growth cycle, and how that explains why, in reality, how much shedding is considered to be normal can vary quite significantly from one person to the next and from one day to the next. Let's talk about it. Every single follicle on your scalp operates in the same natural cycle. This cycle starts with a prolonged period of active hair growth, and it ends with the follicles releasing those same fully grown hair shafts from its root. This release is what shedding actually is, and is fundamentally what it means when people say that shedding is normal. But that still doesn't answer the question of how normal shedding works, or better still, what it's supposed to look like in terms of actual numbers. So here's both the process and the actual numbers that would classify shedding as clinically normal. We've noted that the hair cycle begins with an active growth phase. This phase is called anagen, and it lasts for about 3 to 7+ years, depending on a number of factors, the most fundamental of which is obviously genetics. During this phase, hair keratin cells are actively multiplying, and as this is happening, the newer cells at the base of the follicle are pushing the older ones upwards and outwards, resulting in the visible hair shaft we eventually see emerging from the scalp. This process is largely driven by a set of growth promoting signals, but then at some point, a bunch of inhibitory signals show up and are like, all right, party's over. Y'all ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get the hell up out of here. And immediately, your follicles start to turn the dial down on the hair growth with haste, expeditiously. And I say this because compared to the previous anagen growth phase that lasted a number of, years? This slowing down catagen phase is completed in a matter of weeks. Roughly about 4 weeks, give or take a couple on either side. The point is, it's not very long at all. And then once the hair growth has come to a complete stop, the follicle just kind of sits there for like 3 months, give or take a month or so, which given the 0 to 100, or rather 100 to 0 nature of everything that has just transpired, I'd say the rest and recovery makes sense. Heck, I'd say it's even necessary. So this R&R telogen phase is basically an opportunity for the follicle to rest, to get ready to let go of the old hair and to prepare for the growth of a new hair. And shedding, also known as exogen, is what marks the end of this resting phase, where the follicle's grip on the old hair is loose enough for it to fall out, either as a result of basic daily manipulation or because it's being pushed out by the follicle's new tenant, starting a new hair cycle. Now, each follicle operates this cycle independently, so there will always be overlap between where each follicle is in this cycle at any given point in time, which explains why we shed all year round as opposed to molting all at once like cats and dogs. But here's where it starts to get interesting. In order for the process of hair growth and shedding to be considered clinically normal, the proportion of total scalp hairs you have to have in each distinct cycle stage at any given point in time needs to sit within a very particular range. And this range is precisely how we got to the average of roughly 100 shed hairs per day. So let's talk specifics. If you're enjoying this video so far, finding it helpful, and would like to see more like it, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with anybody else that you think might also find it interesting. And if you're watching this video because you are either unclear or perhaps even concerned about your hair shedding, I release trichology and hair care consulting slots monthly, so please do reach out to me using the link in the description box. Let's assume that your hair is a picture of health, the gold standard of normal. If I were to examine your scalp on any given day, here's what I would see. 85 to 90% of all the hairs on your head would be in the active anagen growth phase. 1 to 3% would be in the slowing down catagen phase, and here's the one we're really interested in. 10 to 15% would be somewhere between the first and the final day of the 2 to 4 month or approximate 90-day telogen resting phase, either at the point of shedding, also known as exogen, or fast approaching it. This information is precisely how the average estimate for the normal daily shed rate is determined in terms of actual numbers, in that depending on a number of factors, most scalps typically fall somewhere around 80,000 to 120,000 hairs. Now, given how wide this density range is, you can probably already see where the problem is going to be, but we'll follow the maths anyways. Assuming you fall somewhere in the middle and have 100,000 hairs, this means it would be considered normal for your scalp to shed anywhere between 10 to 15,000 hairs over the course of the approximate 90-day telogen phase. So if 10% of your hairs were in the telogen phase, that would work out at just over 100 hairs per day, or 111 to be exact. And this is precisely how we come to the average of roughly 100 shed hairs per day that we've all likely heard multiple times. But you know what we don't hear nearly as often is the phrase, the average person does not exist. Which is to say that people aren't perfect equations, and that in reality every individual is a mixed bag, and no one singular person or even biological process is going to align perfectly with what is considered average or what is considered textbook. In other words, just because something is considered to be the theoretical norm does not necessarily mean that it translates to what is normal for you. Because let's be honest, your normal and my normal may not necessarily look the same. Heck, depending on what I'm going through in life, my normal may not even look like my normal. Around 100 hairs per day is commonly used as the amount of shedding that is considered to be normal. But that number is only an average that cannot account for the variability that more accurately reflects reality. And the reality is that the actual amount of hair that each person will normally shed per day is dependent on a number of factors, all of which very notably on a biological level. The first and most obvious variable factor is actual hair density. Considering the normal range for hairs in the shedding pipeline, telogen, is fixed at 10 to 15%, then naturally 10 to 15% of 80,000 hairs will be vastly different from 10 to 15% of 120,000 hairs. Theoretically speaking, even if we control for everything else except this specific density range, at every fixed percentage of hairs in telogen, what would be considered normal for someone at the lower end of this range would be significantly less than what would be considered normal for somebody at the higher end. And perhaps a fairer comparison might be to compare both ends of the spectrum to the average 100 hairs per day, as opposed to comparing one extreme to the other. But even this would still be a notable difference, especially at higher densities. Not to mention the fact that this range is not all-encompassing, because there will still be small subsets of people whose actual density could still sit outside of this range, like blonde-haired Caucasian people, for example, who some estimates suggest trend towards densities of up to 150,000 plus hairs, or how research has shown that Caucasian populations actually tend to sit towards the higher end of the density spectrum overall, with people of African, Hispanic, Arab, and Asian descent generally trending lower. Mind you, all of this is before we even factor in that telogen percentage varies from 10 to 15%, and even that range is based predominantly on data that has been drawn from Caucasian hair. Whereas research has found that on average, the normal telogen percentage range in populations of African heritage tends to be higher than this. We also have to consider the fact that the length of telogen itself also ranges from 60 to 120 days, which again will affect how many hairs each person naturally sheds per day. In that if we take two people with the exact same density and exact same number of hairs in the telogen phase, the person who has the shorter telogen phase will be losing more hair per day than the person whose telogen phase is longer, simply because the same amount of hairs have to be released in a more condensed time period. I want to make it clear that the exact numbers in these tables are not the focus here. I've simply used the same logic to illustrate the bigger picture, that when you consider the possibilities of where an individual could fall on the full spectrum of what would still be considered within a normal range, working with a rigid benchmark of roughly 100 hairs per day without the context or nuance that reality brings could lead to confusion at best or panic at worst, both of which I created this video to help you avoid. And after seeing how the differences in density, telogen percentage, and telogen length can create significant differences in shedding rate from one person to another person, this final factor shows us how shedding rate can vary in the same person from one day to the next. And that factor is asynchronous hair growth cycling, which basically means that even the phases within the hair growth cycle don't work in a textbook manner. The calculation method used to determine the average shedding rate of roughly 100 hairs per day operates under the assumption that cycling in the wild happens in a consistent and mathematically sexy manner, such that the exact same number of follicles will reach the point of exogen every single day. But as you can probably guess, that's just not the reality. And because hair cycling in each follicle is asynchronous, even if you shed a certain number of total hairs over the course of the 90-day telogen period, that doesn't mean that you will lose the same exact number of hairs every single day. What's far more likely is that this will also fluctuate on a daily, weekly, or even seasonal basis, but we'll leave the seasonal variability for another video. So the answer to the question, how much shedding is normal, is not simply 100 hairs give or take. It's that it's relative. The 100 per day guideline is most useful as a theoretical starting point, but in reality, the amount of hair that you and I shed might look very different and still constitute as normal. And whilst I appreciate that this may be a bit more of a nuanced answer than you may have been hoping for, it is nonetheless an accurate and honest one. Not to mention a crucial precursor to being able to properly and responsibly interpret your actual normal shedding rate. So with this understanding that the number varies, including why and how it does, in the next video, I'll be sharing the exact step-by-step protocol you can follow at home to estimate your personal normal shedding baseline, which you can then use to counterbalance the blanket 100 hairs per day for a more accurate reference point going forward. Again, if you'd like clinically informed, tailored guidance on this or any other hair and scalp concerns that you may have, you can reach out to me personally using the link to my website in the description box. That's all from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Bye.